This is Kruger National Park in South Africa, home to some of the biggest, fastest and deadliest animals on the planet. CBBC have brought 4 British and 4 South African children to spend a month here training to be rookie game rangers.
Incredible.
Leading them on this amazing adventure will be their mentors, Trails Ranger Rudy.
It's taken me years to learn to be a ranger. They've only got 1 month to do it.
And Guide Frankie.
In the African bush, danger can be around any corner. So the Safari 8 needs to be alert and have to be ready at any time.
8 kids, 2 mentors and 1 massive challenge. To lead 2 celebrity guests on a safari experience of a lifetime. Last time, our rookie rangers made some jumbo-sized new friends.
It was my first time I touched an elephant. It was amazing.
And got their first glimpse of a totally wild animal. On today's show, the Safari 8 gets suited and booted.
I want all your shoes polished every single day. That includes mine as well.
What?
Find out that wildlife can also mean death.
I'm not good with dead things.
And get their first taste of the bush, quite literally.
It was that.
Today is when all the hard work begins. It's barely daybreak, but Rudy and Frankie are at the treehouse, keen to get the Safari 8 up and out.
It's really early at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Animals don't ever lie, so the earlier we start, the better.
The team will have to get used to early starts.
Come on, girls, wake up. You guys must be dressed in 5 minutes, huh?
As rookie rangers, they'll learn that animal spotting is best done before breakfast.
Yep.
Girls, come on, time to wake up, huh?
Hang on. What time did you knock?
Come guys, 5 minutes, 5 minutes.
If you live in the city and you're not used to getting up so early in the mornings, it is kind of a physical shock, someone waking you up.
We were woken up at 6:30, which is absolutely bonkers.
My first night at the bush, it was very nice. I slept like a baby.
But napping next to nature proved less restful for the lighter sleepers in the team.
There was this massive, massive bird, and it was so loud you couldn't imagine. And then it woke up Ashley too.
There was banging, and then things were walking through the bush, and then I looked everywhere and I was twitching and everything, and then eventually I had to get myself out of it and just go back to sleep.
But sleeping in isn't an option for the Safari 8. There's one last thing they must do before they get to work. Give up their regular clothes and start looking the part.
Good morning, kids.
Morning.
All right, kids, this is the uniform that you're going to be wearing for the next couple of weeks here with us.
Yes.
And the reason why we wear this is to try and blend in as much as possible. Just one thing on this uniform, kids. Every morning must be clean, neat and tidy. And Caroline, boots polished. And then when you're done with yours, you can do mine as well.
What? No.
The team are getting kitted out with working ranger gear.
Oh, it has my name on it.
Uniform and cap to protect them from the bush and sun, with strong boots for trekking. Khaki might not be the height of fashion, but natural colours mean our rookie rangers won't be an easy target for a hungry animal.
Being in these clothes, it's so very, 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 very nice. I feel like a ranger.
It's nice and cool, nice and short, but it all has our names on it. How cool is that? Look, my hat has it too.
If this is what normal rangers wear, then I don't mind wearing this all the time.
All right, guys, you all look brilliant. Are you ready for your training?
Yes!
The Safari 8 are training to become rangers in the Kruger National Park, the largest game reserve in South Africa. Watching them every step of the way are mentors Rudy and Frankie.
There he comes, there he comes, there he comes.
Rudy is one of Kruger's most experienced and respected trails rangers. No stranger to close encounters with formidable and fatal animals, he's survived all the bush can throw at him.
I was attacked by a lion. I barely came away with my life.
Frankie is a senior guide and tracks the Big Five every day. He's a birding expert, spider specialist and ace astronomer, so his safari guests are guaranteed a 5-star adventure.
To be a guide in the park, you have to be like me. Passionate, committed, and ready at any given time for any situation.
So far, the Safari 8 have only experienced the bush from the safety of the Game Viewer truck, but they've already developed a knack for spotting giraffe.
Giraffes. It's amazing.
But who's really checking out who?
I don't know if they're following us or something, but they're really nice. Lots of pictures.
Hope they've got a wide-angle lens because giraffes are the tallest animal on Earth, and some 6,000 live here in Kruger.
Bye, giraffe. Look how big they are.
But there are smaller, woollier animals not native to Kruger that are troubling Manya. Sheep.
Randy, are you scared of sheep? They just freak me out. If you don't like sheep, then you don't come to Wales, because every animal there is mostly sheep. I just don't like their faces.
For our rookie rangers training to truly begin, the team need to be on foot, and that means some serious ground rules about safety.
We're going to go out for a walk now. Very importantly, listen what we have to say at all times. Walk quietly, walk in single file. There's 3 of us, myself and Frankie, and then there's Jacob as well. That's here for your protection.
If we come across something, don't run. You don't run faster than any animal in this bush. Everything here, like I said before, is wild. If something happens, listen to myself or to Rudy. We will then take you guys to a safe place and we will head off the charge and make sure that you guys are safe.
If we encounter a dangerous animal and it does come towards us, just stand still. Don't do anything. Don't start screaming. Don't start running by yourself. Wait for us to give you an instruction. And if we do give an instruction to get behind a bush or behind a tree, do that immediately and do it at speed. All right. Yeah, let's go.
Brilliant.
This is the very first time the Safari 8 have been out in the open, and they quickly feel exposed and vulnerable.
It's quite scary out here, being just in the wild and like roaming free.
You really need to watch what you're doing and know what you're doing and just be safe all round.
There are thousands of dangerous animals in Kruger, so being aware of what's around them is a vital skill the team must master. This bushwalk is a chance for our rookies to impress their mentors, who are already gauging who has real ranger potential.
At the end of the day, we're looking at the strongest person to lead the final challenge. And that's what me and Rudy is going to try and assess today.
So training has started, and lesson number 1 is identifying number 2s.
Guys, what animal?
Elephant.
Why do you say that?
Because it's big. It's grass.
This is elephant, yes.
Ooh.
If you open it up, you see large pieces, right? And there's a combination of twigs, leaves, there's a piece of branch.
You can see how coarse it is, okay? Rhino, hippo, warthog, zebra, all got single stomachs, so the dung is very coarse.
Top tips for tracking. And there's also a tasty bonus.
You guys know marula fruit? Have you heard about marulas? When an elephant's feeding a lot of marulas, it passes so quickly through the stomach that it doesn't break the skin of the fruit. You can actually take it out the dung, wash it off, and eat the marula.
Sounds gross, but Rudy's preparing the team for things to come. Because as the Safari 8 will discover later, they are far from done with dung.
I'd stick my head literally in a lion's mouth, but I'm not putting any poo, not even my poo, in my mouth.
Putting poo to one side, 14-year-old Ashley from Port Elizabeth does have a healthy appetite for new tastes.
I love to eat, okay? Like, eating's like a hobby for me, like anything. Like, when I go to a restaurant, I'm not gonna eat like pizza, I eat something completely different.
So grub is good, what's bad?
My phobias are, I'm afraid of the dark, and spiders. I'm an arachnophobia. I hate spiders, I can't stand them. I have 3 sisters, Gemma, Brittany and Gabby. She's quite fun to be around. She's
Being
cool.
Ashley's sister is very interesting but a bit scary because sometimes she goes a little bit wild.
And there's another member of the family Ashley's very fond of.
And I do have a brother who's Hilton, which is my dog, and he's like such a good brother to me, you know?
The dog sleeps on a feather duvet in the bed next to one of us every night. And there is a fight every single night of whose turn it is with the dog.
Hilton's definitely number 1, but Ashley still has plenty of love to give.
Normally Saturdays or Sundays I'll go and do a bit of community service. These animals here don't really get a lot of attention and don't really get a lot of people's time, so when you give it to them, they just show like a bit of appreciation.
She's a very compassionate child. She's got a huge heart. but she's got a huge mouth as well.
She's a bit of a screamer. She's not an early person. She's not a morning person. No.
She wakes up on the wrong side of the bed.
Moody in the morning, but there's one thing guaranteed to put the spring back in Ashley's step.
I absolutely love dancing, any form of dancing.
And what's Ashley hoping to get from her latest adventure?
On safari, the animals that I'd most likely to see would be cheetah or a leopard. They're quite similar, so I'd really be excited to see one of those.
The Safari 8 face a huge final challenge to lead a 2-day safari in search of South Africa's Big Five, which are the rhino, weighing in at up to 3.5 tons, the elephant, the biggest land mammal in the world, the lion, the largest carnivore in South Africa, the buffalo, one of the most dangerous animals in Kruger, and the leopard, pound for pound the strongest of the big cats. Tracking these extraordinary animals is a test which will push the team's new ranger skills to the limit. Back in the bush, Rudy, Frankie and the team are on the trail of an animal. And judging by the state of their surroundings, it's a big one.
This area that we just walked through, it looks like a war zone. What do you think happened here?
Elephants.
Kushal, why do you say elephants?
Because like elephants, they lean against trees and stuff, and like because they're so heavy, if the tree's not strong enough, it can collapse.
You can see it's been pushed over. The tree behind you can see the roots. And especially end of winter, when there's very little leaves available, very little grass. Elephants go for the bark of trees and also for the root system.
A lot of people, when they drive in the park and they see this, they go, oh, the elephants, they're causing so much damage. Yes, they are causing quite a lot of damage, but it's also vital to the park. Termites will start invading the tree, there's animals eating the termites, predators eating the animals that eat the termites, so you'll have basically a small little ecosystem,
the circle of life.
And as our rookie rangers are about to discover, the circle of life also includes death.
As we were walking, there was like big, massive bones like spread out. In the distance, there was a massive carcass, and I was like, ooh, because I'm not good with like dead things.
The sad reality is that finding dead animals is part and parcel of being a ranger. It's an aspect of the job which the Safari 8 can't ignore.
Can you all smell it nicely?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah? Beautiful smell, eh?
The carcass was really smelly. It smelled so bad, you couldn't believe it. It was horrible.
Yeah, this is a white rhino. You can see by the size of the feet, black rhinos have got smaller feet.
This rhino was found a few days ago by Kruger Park rangers. As a safeguard, they've already removed the highly prized horns.
So why do you have to take them off?
If poachers come across the carcass, they will actually take the horns for themselves, and we try and eliminate that.
What do you think could have killed it?
Yeah.
And this was probably a natural occurrence. You often get two rhinos fighting, and the one turns and the other one tries to hook it still with a horn, and then it gets wounded and eventually dies from it. Very good questions they've been asking. I've had a lot of people in my life on trail, and the kids' questions are actually quite mature. This has been here for about 4 days. Wow. So they clean it up quite quickly. The bush is it's equilibrium. Animals feed on dead animals to actually get it back into the ground. The circle of life.
You don't know how that died, and it's kind of like a mystery, but it was quite intense seeing like a corpse of a rhino there, yeah.
It's just so weird. There's so much life in it, like there's all these bugs and maggots and everything feeding off it. I think the most important thing I learned is that everything that happens always has a purpose and like a consequence after it. It's a bit sad, but this is life.
The Safari 8 move on, but quickly spot something their mentors have missed.
While everyone is looking in the front and they were all going in a line, like Manuel turned and then I turned because I saw him looking this way, and then all of a sudden we saw that tortoise walking, and I actually thought it was a rock and it looked so cute.
Who can tell me what tortoise this is?
Is it the leopard-shelled tortoise?
Yes, excellent. So you learned. Excellent. Where did he go?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the leopard tortoise, obviously because of the colouring on his shell, and it's very, very well camouflaged.
It was one of my first spots as a ranger, so it was a great feeling.
Let's go, guys.
Bye-bye.
The team are beginning to get the measure of the bush, although some are better at remembering facts than others.
Right, guys, what have you learned today?
The differences between white and black rhinos.
So can you tell me that?
The white rhinos got a hooked go before. Big mouth. It's got a big mouth, and the black one's got a small mouth.
Okay. Caroline's quite a clever girl. She picked up all the information. Did you guys keep direction? Do you know where the vehicle is?
Yeah.
Yeah? Which way?
Over that way. There. There. That way.
I've got a compass too.
Sophisto is quiet, but there's a lot of leadership aspects or characteristics in him that we can maybe use at a later stage.
And also the importance of a compass. It's so important.
Yes, to find your way back.
Yeah.
Good job, Rudy and Frankie know exactly where the game viewer truck is.
Oh yeah.
It's been an eventful first morning in Kruger, and now Rudy and Frankie have a different challenge for the Safari 8. An old ranger tradition involving kudu poo.
Back in the old days, guys, when there was no television. Yes, Thomas, there was a time like that, years and years ago. The old folk in South Africa used to have a competition. You get kudu dung like this, put it in your mouth, and
spit it as far as you can. Right.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, kids, this is now your first official Safari 8 challenge.
What?
Yeah.
We're going to split it into 2 groups. South Africa versus
Great Britain.
Great Britain.
Yeah. So each rookie ranger has one chance to spit for their country. There's a reward for the winners, sunset drinks at the lake, and a forfeit for the losers, scrubbing the barbecue. The furthest spit wins, but that's not to everyone's taste.
Is there somebody that's not up for it? Ashley?
Yes. No.
No?
Ashley didn't want to do it. Ashley was like, nah, that's just too nasty. We came here to safari, not put poo in our mouths. And I wasn't going to do that, not at all.
Okay, I've got a marker.
Kudu poo spitting is a serious sport. Picking the perfect pellet is key. Firm but not crumbly. No one wants dung to disintegrate in their mouth. Ella's off to a gobstopping start.
That's disgusting.
Next. Okay.
But Noma seems to have blown it.
Okay.
Thomas's bluster proves to be a blaster. Top technique from Sofiso, but he hasn't got the distance.
Unfortunately.
Caroline's a bit hesitant, and that's cost her some length. Kushal gives it all he's got, and his pellet pings into pole position. With one mighty mouthful, Manya takes a late lead.
Look at this.
But because Ashley's refusing to take part, Rudy awards Kushal a free spit. It's the last chance for Team GB.
Oh, close, but not close enough. Well done,
And
South
it's
Africa.
all over. It'll be sundowners for South Africa, spit and polish for Great Britain.
Well, the kudu poo challenge was quite cool, but it is a tradition. I did well. I won the competition, and it was really cool. I was really chuffed with that.
It's like the last thing you could ever think about, having to actually eat poo. And then when I had to actually pick it up and put it in my mouth, it was that.
So I was very impressed the way that Caroline and Ella handled, because I didn't think they're going to be up for it, but they seemed like they just had as much fun as what we did.
One of the most important skills our rookie rangers must learn is how to track animals. So the Safari 8 are back to work.
Stick to the single file. The reason for that is animals come from the front, they see one object. If you're all bundled up together or walk beside each other, they're going to see a larger object.
Some big footprints tell the team they're stepping into someone else's stomping ground. And a big hole filled with dung tells Rudy they're in rhino country.
Rhinos have got territories, and the most dominant rhino will actually have the best area.
So we're in like the rhino's territory.
Yes, this is part of his territory.
And
this is what we call a rhino midden. Okay.
he dug a hole and put his poo in.
Do you think he had diarrhea?
No. What a rhino bull then does is stand here, he'll defecate behind him.
You mean poo?
Poo, yes.
Yeah.
Defecate is a nice word for poo. And he will scratch it out like this to get his scent stuck on his feet. Unfortunately, this spot is very dry. We're going to move on and see if we can find something fresher.
Finding dung is one way to track wildlife. The trails they leave behind is another. And a sandy riverbed is an ideal place to find animal footprints. These tracks are called spoor, a word which comes from Afrikaans.
Now, if you look down to the ground, you'll see there's quite a big print there. What animal do you think it was? Thomas?
I think it's a rhino because the elephant's foot is a bit
more fatter and big.
Ashley?
I think it's an elephant because the toenails are actually stuck on the side of the foot and they're not on the bottom, whereas a rhino has a shape of like a heart.
Ashley, you're actually quite spot on there.
Ashley did very well. She recognized the elephant spoor with the other kids actually getting mixed up with the elephant and rhino.
As a guide or a ranger, you can actually see the height of the elephant just by looking at the track. You take the circumference of the track times 3, and that will give you the height of the elephant. Now, if you look at this track, which way did this elephant walk?
That's right.
Have a look when you walk in the sand now. You walk, and as you put your foot forward, you see you make a little scuff mark forward. Can you see the scuff mark here?
Yeah.
So this is actually quite a big herd of elephants. They walk down here, all moving in that direction.
Explaining them about the spoor, they all understood, and I think they will all recognize the elephant spoor from now on.
And tracking's not just about seeing things. Our rookie rangers need to start using all of their senses.
Yeah, that. Okay, this is also a way of knowing that there might be something that's dangerous. This is called a grey lory, or a go-away bird. Okay, it says, go away, go away. So he doesn't like predators, and he warns the prey animals, like impala and kudu and things like that, if there's danger in the area.
But birds aren't the only thing to listen out for.
You hear that chick, chick, chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a squirrel. It's an alarm call of a squirrel.
The team head off to see what's got the squirrels so stressed.
You can hear the squirrels in the background here, eh?
Guys,
Okay.
and just one thing, when you see what it is, just don't freak out.
Don't freak out,
Single file behind us, all right?
Okay, now I want you guys to point it out what they were making an alarm call. You must look now. You must look for something that might be a danger to the squirrel. But don't look down there, look up in the tree. See the big python here? Rock python in the tree?
I found that. Can you not see that? It's huge. It's massive. Can you see it?
It's one of the endangered snake species, eh? So it's actually quite rare to see this in the bush. This is almost better than seeing a leopard.
Especially when you follow your senses and you know that squirrels have told you there's something, and you come and have a look and you actually found what they're looking at.
But no squirrels are needed to help the Safari 8 with their next find. A team of park rangers surveying the surroundings in style. The team are blown away, and for once, Kushal is completely speechless. Because 13-year-old Kushal from Harrow has a dream he's desperate to get off the ground.
Well, flying is wonderful. Flying is just really cool. I want to be a pilot when I'm older, and yeah, I just love flying. It's just a wonderful thing. It's a passion.
But planes aren't Kushal's only passion.
I play for Lohana Cricket Club, and I love cricket. I've been playing since I was about 3. I'm wicket-keeper on my team, but I'm being promoted to bowler now. I'm just in love with cricket. Cricket is just my life.
Off the pitch, Kushal's definitely got rhythm.
My tabla is a kind of Indian drum. I played that since I was about 7 or 8. I'd love to learn new drums in Africa because I know that they have loads of different kinds of drums.
From beat to eat, Kushal has quite an appetite.
Food is very important to him. He eats a lot of it, and you'll go into his room and you'll see his bins overflowing with all these wrappers.
I've been cooking with my sister since about 6 or 7, and I love cooking sweet stuff because that's what I love to eat.
Cookies and biscuits, fairy cakes is one of a good favourite.
We're making so much more from scratch, not from the packets and stuff. So yeah, it's so much more fun now. I've been cooking with her for ages. There's my sister Misha, my mum, dad, and my grandma. We all get on so well as a family. If somebody's down, we're always cheerful, we get them up, and everybody's just always happy.
He's full of beans, ants in his pants, always has been.
He asks so many questions all the time about everything, anything we see, anything we do, and there has to be a reason behind everything.
The whole Safari 8 team, I'm going to be asking the questions a lot, and I think that they'll get bored of me asking and asking and asking and asking and asking. I'm quite a chatterbox.
So it's no surprise that Kushal is quick to question helicopter pilot Charles while his fellow rookie rangers check out the chopper.
Yeah, so do you get to see loads of animals and stuff when you're in the park and you're flying around?
Oh, for sure.
Like,
No,
so
that's our main focus, is working with animals.
So you're just trying to count how many there are, if anything,
We're doing a
injured or
census
stuff?
we're census of all the black rhino at the moment to see our numbers, because obviously they're an endangered species.
You actually try and see how many black rhinos are in the park left. to see how their population has grown in the last few years.
And there's one more thing Kushal just has to do.
I've always wanted to be a pilot for like commercial airlines and stuff. Now I've seen this, I'd rather do something that conserves animals and you can also fly it. So yeah, I'm quite enthralled at the moment. I'm lost for words.
Time for the chopper to fly, and Kushal is sure he's found his calling in life.
Wicked, man.
Nice,
I'm doing that when I'm older. I don't care. That is a wicked job.
It's the end of a long first day for the Safari 8, and for Team South Africa, it's time to reap the rewards of the Kudu Poo Spitting Challenge.
All right, cheers, guys, on a wonderful victory.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I gotta give all the credits to Mania. He did a very good job. I thought I was gonna be a hero, but I didn't succeed. But we're still a team anyway.
Everything is just perfect. We've got wonderful drinks, we're watching the sunset, it's wonderful.
We were rewarded with sundowners, and the other team had to clean the treehouse.
Which Team Great Britain are doing with very little enthusiasm.
Can we start? Yeah, you guys can start along.
Seems losing has left a bad taste in their mouth.
This is really disgusting. It stinks as well.
I could be having sundowners, whatever they are right now.
I was really hoping that we'd get to go get some drinks because it is so hot, it's unbelievable.
A rookie ranger's work is never done.
The first day in the bush was amazing because I saw so many animals.
It was so nice being there, the environment, atmosphere. Africa, yeah, it was so nice.
Just being there and seeing it with your own eyes, it was amazing.
I think Manya looks quite cool in his uniform.
New uniform's really great. It's really cool to like be able to feel like you are a game ranger.
I don't think I look so good because it's sort of baggy on me.
Rudy and Frankie are really nice. They definitely taught us a lot today.
Rudy and Frankie are just like the top of the top. They're proper dogs, man. They're proper cool and stuff.
You can always just keep on throwing questions at them and they'll always have the right answers for you.
Now that we're out here in the bush and we're learning all these things, you've got to get all of them in your head and you've got to learn really fast.
I've just realised how much I've got to learn because we've still got 3 weeks and hopefully we'll learn everything so we can get the people on a really good safari.
Next time, the Safari 8 tracked down one of South Africa's most dangerous inhabitants.
I thought the buffalo was just like a cow with horns. I never knew it was like really scary or anything.
A bush emergency leads to tragedy.
Every single one of us was really sad and hurt by it because it's such an amazing animal.
And there's some dirty work for the team when they have to get really stuck in.
Put your fingers together.
Where's the
Just push it in there.
I'm gonna be sick, I'm gonna be sick.